People who know me well enough know that I'm a bit of a name dropper, and that's why I'm constantly reminding them that I'm good friends with Tim Rosso. Rosso, of course, is a well-known comedian, TV and radio personality in Sydney. And recently, he invited Matt and I to watch his show, Man About the House. He performs it with his good mate, Kit Warhurst, and we found out a little bit about how good of mates they are. Or are they? Watch the interview and find out.
It's a nice day, isn't it? Dude.
This is a beautiful spot, yeah.
Dude, what's happening with your skin? Looks lovely. What have you been doing?
Well, I use a bit of tea tree oil now and some pore protectant, so thanks for noticing.
And you got some makeup on too, haven't you?
Just a little bit. Here you go, Rosso and Kit, mate. Thanks for being on the show, boys.
Yeah, you look good.
Men About the House, really, isn't it? You two are mates, and you go back a long way. What's the story about how you met? What was the context? Whereabouts were you?
Swinburne University.
I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. No, we were we were at university, and we're lining up on our first day, and then I think I walked into a lecture theatre or something. I looked around, and thought, oh, he's the coolest looking dude. No, that was Kit. So I sat down, and we've been friends ever since.
And I sat down, and then this guy comes up and sits next to me, and he said, "Tim Ross, mate, how you going?" Yeah. Put his hand out. Totally old school. Yeah.
That was a very good impersonation of Russell Crowe as well.
Yeah. We've Tim and I, we've been making music together for 20 years, on and off in different projects. So we've always had things on the go.
Where's some of the better places you've been to, the more interesting ones?
Well, we went to Palm Springs, which is extraordinary, and performing to a whole bunch of Americans who had no idea who we were, and they liked the show. We sold out, and met some great people, performed in some extraordinary houses, some spaces, and it was really a really inspiring couple of trips.
So the whole show is basically it's a vignette of stories from childhood going back to the era of Aussie days, really. The US guys got that?
No. No, because we just took out anything that wasn't going to make sense. But everything resonates, doesn't it? It's like every bit of the show that people like in Australia, they like in the same way in America.
So I hadn't been to Palm Springs before. Tim had told me all about it, so it was just wonderful. It was for me, it was quite a magical place, and there's something about there's an energy there that was just really, I don't know. I was enthralled by the place. It was beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Mildura, which is a country town where I did some growing up in. And Mildura is modelled on LA, and so obviously it's just big wide streets and a lot of green. And when I was walking around Palm Springs, it's like, this reminds me of something strange. It's Mildura, so where I grew up. So it's kind of similar with a lot more really amazingly nice houses.
Is it because there's been a change of life as well? You're now a dad and a husband, and what's the experience like for you as a comedian starting out compared to now?
I suppose I just, I grew up in some ways, and I mean, it sounds a bit naff, but that's sort of it, like we all get older and we get into different things, and so my comedy's a lot more about my view on the world and a lot more to do with being a dad, and obviously I wasn't years ago, and so there's less of that lad sort of, get on the cans rubbish that I used to do. Not that it was... actually, I should bring that back, shouldn't I? That was good.
It was very good.
Yeah, I didn't do that tonight.
So when we come back after the break, we're going to play a little game. And I've been struggling with the name of it, but I think I'm just going to call it I'm Your Mate, I Swear quiz. And we've pre-done this. These guys are going to write down their answer. We're going to hold them up and see whether they're the same, whether they know each other or not after this.
Based on the podcast of the same name, The 5 O'Clock Wave features sometimes clever, always witty, and rarely dull conversations about life, the universe, and everything in between. The best part? You can get involved by emailing us a topic for discussion. It's the world via Wagga Wagga, brought to you by Adam Drummond, Jamie Way, and Matt Olson, podcast Sex Gods, according to Adam Kay, not in conjunction with anyone else's opinion. Curious to find out more? Log on to waggawagga.tv and check it out on our broadcast or in our on-demand library for more episodes. Waggawagga.tv. It's not TV, it's .tv.
Here we are. Now, I mentioned before we're going to be playing a little quiz here. It's called I'm Your Mate, I Swear. And these guys have all got cards each. Rosso, we're on, mate. We're on.
Oh, sorry, I was just getting bored by you. Yeah.
Told you what he'd be like.
Sorry.
Told you what he'd be like.
Sorry,
Hey, lucky we can edit it. So we've got 4 cards each. You've both been given a text early and you've written down an answer. We're going to hold them up, see if they're the same, and ultimately decide if you guys are mates or not.
Mates or not. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to start with Kit. So he knows the answers. Does Rosso? Rosso, you're out.
Who puts them up first, him or me?
You put them up at the same time. Okay. All right, you ready? Are you ready? Rosso, you're out for dinner with Kit and mains are cleared. The waiter asks if anyone would like dessert. Does Kit order dessert or not? No, not a sweet tooth. He's even elaborated on the answer. Well done. So we're keeping score over here. We've got a lovely model keeping score. Kit is a much-loved musician. As a lot of people know, he plays in Melbourne with a band called Spoonful. But when it comes to cuddling in bed, is Kit the spooner, the spooned, or spoonless? Spooned, spooner!
Oh, he's the spooner. In your dress, buddy. You petite little thing.
All mates should get that right, by the way. So you got 1 right, 1 wrong so far. I'm keeping count.
I think if I knew the answer, there'd be something wrong, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, we might have spooned on tour.
Yeah, I think you've deliberately answered it incorrectly. Kit rings up suggesting your 2 families get together and go on a 10-day holiday. Where in the world would Kit choose to go? Italy, Wagga! Mate, that deserves a handshake. Well, and by the way,
The local crowd, isn't it?
by the way, correct answer. Excluding his own band and any band that he has a mate in, so totally unrelated, who would Kit want to sit in the front row at a concert with? Which band? Living, dead or retired? Who would he choose? Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix. This is not looking good. The friendship
Should have thought about Hendrix.
The friendship may end tonight.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix.
There's a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line here. Kit, same rules. This time we're about Rosso, okay? You go out for dinner with Rosso to a very classy restaurant. Who's most likely to pay for dinner? Kit, Rosso, or is it a split bill? Rosso! They've both, I think if we watch this back, they've both got the first answer correct. Okay, Rosso's told he's got a $15 million budget to make a feature film. What genre is the film he ends up making? Romantic comedy, sci-fi!
Sci-fi. See, and I'd make it.
This is
I didn't think about it.
Nah,
No,
but, yeah.
I thought I'm
Yeah.
really. You definitely make a sci-fi. Can I have that point back?
You can have a romantic comedy sci-fi. That'd be interesting. It'd have Sandra Bullock in it. Assuming there is a skipper or captain, Rosso rings you up, Kit, and says he wants to go sailing anywhere in the world. Where would he choose to go? Mediterranean, Malibu. Malibu, sorry.
Sorry about that.
They both start with M. Okay, now this one we almost don't need the cards held up because we're asking a question that's current tonight. Tonight, Rosso is wearing boxers, briefs, or nothing. Boxers, undies, briefs. I knew that because when we played paintball together, I checked him out and he wears briefs.
Why would you do that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? You've got a show and you tell everyone, hey, you're an undie watcher. That's your thing. You know, we played paintball once. It was really good.
Here's a photo of it. Thanks, guys. There you go. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Adam. Cheers.
That's
Thanks,
a nice
Kit.
makeup.
Thank you. It's just a little bit for the nose because of the sleep apnea mask.
Idiot.
Full of funny, viral or observational videos sent in by you, the viewer, Upload is your chance to show us something we've never seen before. It could be your kid scoring his first try, an unusual event in your area, or something you just want to share with the world. Get it off your chest with Upload. Send us a clip, we'll turn it into online video gold. It can be via your smartphone, your expensive digital camera, or a Skype call that turned weird. We don't mind how you capture it, just as long as it's real and as long as it's legal, we'll show it. Curious to find out more? Log on to Waterwalker.tv and check it out on our broadcast or in our on-demand library for more episodes. Waterwalker.tv. It's not TV. It's .tv. Skit take!
Oh, hello. I've been waiting in here for a while. And I brought some biscuits. I didn't know how many of you there were going to be. Is it just you? I didn't know how many there was going to be. But there's a nice photo there because I know all the boys like those. One of the boys came in earlier and he put a thing up my shirt and he did a good job, I can tell you now. I was very happy with him. You can keep him on the books, I'd say. He's coming to help me with my washing later. He seemed to know how to use a blouse. Are we on? I grew up on a farm and I was responsible for the hens and all the eggs as a little girl. That's very, very annoying, whoever's doing that. And I remember, not that when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I remember all the hens were having a bit of a problem laying eggs. And all my pop did, as we called him back then, was he got a different cock. And all of a sudden, it seemed to work. Ended up shooting him in the end because he didn't really continue on with what he was doing. Not Pop, we kept him on. I'm talking about the rooster. It's very hot in here, isn't it? That's where they've taken us. When I was a teenage girl, a lot of the strapping young farmer boys were interested in me. I had a couple of assets that they were very interested in, and not just the eggs, although they had been told about the eggs and what a great job the new cock was doing. And people would come from miles around, as we called them back then, miles, to try my bickies. And I think the secret was the amount of, I put a little bit too much butter in it, but in the recipe it only said half a cup. I used to always put a full cup in, and that was the trick. Actually, I think it was meant to only be a spoonful, but I'd use a cup. I also made a roast once that the principal really enjoyed. He took it to his office and he asked me in to his office and he said, "Mavis, the home ec teacher, Mrs. Willoughby, she's given me this roast and it is absolutely succulent." And we ate together in his room, and it was just wonderful. Can't go into a lot of detail about all of it, but well, let's just say that the dessert was nice too, if you know. I'm getting a bit flushed when I think about my roast.
Funny times. So thanks for joining us on the show. I want to point out something you would have heard in that interview with Rosso and Kit, that I looked at his undies. I don't actually deliberately look at people's undies when they're getting changed in front of me. That was just a one-off thing, and it was like, well, where do I look now? So it won't happen again. Anyway, thanks for joining me on the show, and we'll see you next time. I'm just waiting for someone to bring me a picnic. They were meant to be here half an hour ago, so it's budget. G'day Wagga, we are so excited to be offering a new online platform to local residents, tourists and businesses in the Wagga Wagga area. It's called Waterwalker.tv and it has 3 core functions.
The first is to act as a directory for nearly every single business in Wagga. There are 3 options for local businesses to choose from.
The first option is completely free for businesses. You get to have your company logo, company name, phone number and your email address on our site for no cost. That is pretty cool.
The second option is our mid-level directory listing and costs just $19.95 per month.
And you receive everything from the free Level Plus links to your phone, email and website, as well as placement of up to 5 high quality images of your business, product or service.
Plus you appear in a higher position than the free option.
Finally, we have the top tier option, where you get everything from the mid-level directory plus 5 videos representing elements of your business that you want to show potential customers.
Although here at WaggaWagga.tv, we call them your audience. It costs just $39.95 per month and comes with larger thumbnails
and a higher position than the other 2 directories. Talk about value for money. That's less than $500 per year and you look awesome.
But there are 2 other elements I want to show you on WaggaWagga.tv. We're going to be producing local entertainment, lifestyle and sports shows.
We are so excited about the lineup of content, from comedy shows to programs of short films to regular sporting events and much, much more. And finally, you can reach your core market, Wagga residents, who are our main audience, through telling your story and engaging with your customers.
So Wagga, you want comedy? Are you after entertainment?
Do you love local events? Do you like music?
Are you wanting local issues relevant to your area?
Then you've just stumbled across a new era in TV. Waterwalker.tv. It's not TV, it's .tv.